Hello, welcome to Spirituality with V. My guest is Carolyn, and I'm very excited to have Carolyn on today because she's manifested a life partner. She's attracted a soulmate, and I'm sure that all of you won't be able to wait to hear how she did that. Over to you, Carolyn.
Oh my gosh, where do I start? So, my journey started probably when I came to Doha in 2018. I was in a long-standing relationship for 9 years, and I kind of knew deep down that that I wanted a lot more from that relationship, and I was hoping that I would get that, but realised that I wouldn't. I wasn't going to be the partner I was with I wasn't going to be able to get deep enough for what I felt my soul and what I yearned for. So I kind of had in my mind, they always say write it in a book, your ideal partner and what attributes, and even as much as what colour their eyes are and how tall, etc.
Do you mean in a vision board? You did a vision board?
Well, not just on him. I did my vision board anyway, and
Okay.
and that did come up. But I did more on the back of a book that I do on my Mind Valley, and I did my life book. I put it in the back there of things that I wanted to bring into my life and my life partner as such. So anyway, in 2000, I kind of had made moves with my partner about, whether it was going to work or whether I was going to we could move forward with kind of where we were in our relationship. And then I realised that we weren't going to be. So I was kind of getting my head around it because he was my rock. He was my rock. It's just, I felt I needed so much more. So I then, in 2020, just over after COVID, there was a situation that came up that I basically took advantage of this situation and opened up about how I felt. And he is the most wonderful, beautiful person, and he's one of these people that is a pleaser. So he'll do, even if it compromises him and his happiness, he'd do that for you. And although he wasn't very good at opening up and showing his feelings, he went away and thought about it and said, I think that I need to be true to you and true to myself, and I need to let you go to live the life that you really want to live.
Oh, how sweet.
Oh, that's the kind of amazing man that he was.
That is amazing.
So, in actual fact, although we always kept in touch, it gradually became less and less and less through WhatsApp and calls and stuff. I found that so painful. Though I kind of had my head around that it needed to happen, I found it so much painful. If he had phoned me or messaged me to say, I love you, I need you, I want you, I would have left Doha and just gone home. But he didn't. And it was a good thing, because I had to the reason I stuck to it, because I knew I had to be true to myself. If I wanted to find true happiness, I knew I had to do this, and I knew I had to push through this pain to get there.
To get there, yeah.
So I then actually did a lot of energy healing with an amazing woman called Carolyn, which I'd been doing way before I met her. It was on our meditation group.
Yeah.
And I had quite a few sessions with her because I could feel frustration of like, where, am I doing the right thing? I mean, I've done so much work on the type of person and my future and who I'm going to meet. But I was actually thinking maybe it was him. Maybe we needed a bit of a break and we were going to get back together and be a stronger force, to both wake up a little bit.
I think that's quite natural, isn't it? You're always hoping that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, doing work with her certainly helped me a massive amount. And then after that, what happened? I kind of started to feel, that I was doing the right thing, that I needed to be true to myself. And then so then I knew that I had to get myself out there, right? I needed to tell the universe that I'm putting myself out there, I'm available, okay? I've got to bring this person in. So I went online, and it kind of freaked me out. I actually met my old partner online, believe it or not, but he was the only one I met, and we were together 9 years, so we're actually so lucky. Right, so this time I did, like, I think what was called coffee and bagels or something stupid. And I did a couple of them, and I realised there weren't very many people in Doha on it. So I thought, oh, okay, I need to start doing going on to Tinder. Well, that scares the hell out of me, the thought of Tinder. Anyway, I went on, and I met some very interesting people. In fact, to start off, I was actually attracting people, men that needed help and support in their own journey. I knew I wasn't the right one for them, but it was giving me confidence to meet them, to think I could maybe help them, because of my marriage ended through betrayal. So it was dealing with all of that, and I was hoping that I might be able to, I think it was an easy way of me kind of just feeling that meeting people and getting my own confidence with it.
Yes, getting your confidence back after being not available for so long.
Exactly. So anyway, so I then did meet a few people, and it is a bit of a whole can of worms, to be honest with you. Anyway, so I then got to a point where there's one particular guy that I met who ended up being an absolute idiot, that I decided, you know, I'm done now. Okay, I've done it. I've put myself, I think I was only on there 3-4 months. I've done it. I've bought the t-shirt. I'm done now. Okay. So I thought, right, I'm just going to trust. Isn't it? It's all about trusting, putting your trust. So I came off, and then literally, this was in the kind of a May time, April, May. Yeah, it's about May. And then I met my soulmate in July last year.
That's really fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very quick. I didn't think it would be that fast. So we were supposed to be connected through a friend. So my girlfriend was really good friends with him, and they were neighbours, and we were supposed to connect, but he, I think, wasn't feeling too well and said no, because she said, Carolyn's here in the garden, why don't you come round? And he said, oh no, I can't. So we didn't connect, and it wouldn't have been right then anyway. But then in the July, she invited me to a dinner, and she told me that there was a bunch of them all going for a leaving do on the boat, and they were coming out when they'd finished their kind of, you know, boys' night out after we'd finished dinner. And she had some 10 people around for dinner. So we all had the dinner. I forgot these guys were coming, and I kind of forgot all about him being there too. But anyway, long story short, as soon as he saw me, this is what he says, as soon as he saw me, he's very into energy, as in he just feels people. And he said, as soon as he saw me, he said, oh my God, who is that? I need to get to know her. Well, he was a little bit drunk. We'd all had a bit to drink, but he was particularly a little bit drunk. And he was just intense. And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. And I was told this person I was going to meet wouldn't be instant. And I was like, ooh, hang on a minute, you're a little bit intense. Anyway, he was quite pushy, but it was a little bit overwhelming for me, because a load of them came back. And anyway, we were dancing, had fun, and then I left. And then he wanted to get my number. My friend said, oh, I'm so sorry about their behaviour last night. They found you rather fascinating. Is that what you call it? And so she said, can I give him your number? And I said, yeah, okay, no problem. So she then said, if you don't get her name right, I'm not going to give you her number. And he went, I thought you were my friend. She goes, that's exactly right. I am your friend. Why? I'm not going to give you a number. And did she get her name right? Well, everyone tends to call me Caroline and not Carolyn, because that's just the name everyone does. Anyway, so he went and asked all his friends. He was trying to find out what my name was. Anyway, he got it. Anyway, she gave his number, my number to him. And then we connected. And then I'm one of these people, like, if you're going to get to know someone, it's that messaging, isn't it? You're not going to meet all the time, but it's the messaging. It's like the hello, the goodbye, or whatever it happens to be. Well, he didn't message me, and I certainly wasn't going to message him. So for about over a week or so, we didn't have any contact. And then my friend invited me back over, because they were going out on the boat, and said, do you want to come around? I said, I'm sorry, I'm busy. And he'd asked me for something else, but I had already had plans. And from my Tinder experience, I was not going to make myself so available anyway. So I thought, you're going to have to do the bit, you know, going to have to do the chasing in, because I'm done with all of that, having done the Tinder thing. Anyway, long story short, we then were supposed to be going on a boat trip. And I thought, well, I'm not going if he's not even contacted me. But anyway, we met at my friend's again, because I finished early what I was doing, went round there. And again, he was a little bit drunk. and quite, no, I wouldn't say forceful. He was just very chatty on that one, very chatty. Anyway, we ended up being on our own talking, and I thought, I just need to get him on his own, really, and sober.
Yeah.
So then I
see the real him.
Yeah, exactly. So then actually we did go out for dinner, and then I thought to myself, wow, he drinks a lot, he smokes, and I thought, I don't need to find someone spiritual, but I need someone that's going to understand me. And I thought, I don't think he's going to understand me. And then we went and for a few other dates, and slowly but surely I was suddenly realising that he was very into energy, and there was a lot more to him than I really realised. And then I realised how many similarities that we had. It was unbelievable. And now, when I then look at my book and everything that I wrote, and things that I know and things that resonate with him, and then it got to a point where I felt, oh my God, I feel like I've known him forever. You know, when you've not been with someone, it's like it feels. And a lot of people would say, oh my God, how long have you two been together? Thinking because we were so in sync together.
Yeah. And
my energy, I could just feel. You know, we always say that you can manifest, and when you're on a high vibration, oh my God, whenever I'm with him, I'm on a very high vibration. And actually then when we started to be together, properly together, that energy, I've never experienced this energy ever before, ever.
Sounds so exciting.
It was amazing. And then I did accessing consciousness, I've done Reiki, and what with doing my healing, I then started doing, I kind of was treating him a bit like my guinea pig, and it's just amazing, and he can feel it as well as I. And so that's how it just all evolved. But you then start to look back and you see, oh my gosh, everything that I manifested has come to. Like one of the things I've had to do work with, and I've had insecurities about, is around my childhood, which was security and commitment. And yet I think we've been together maybe a month, right? And he said to me, I've been thinking about it. Now he lives in a villa where he rents the rooms out, okay? So he said to me, I've been thinking about it. Are you happy with this setup, or would you rather get somewhere together, just you and me? And I thought, oh my God, it's like, this is what I've wanted with my old partner for I don't know how long, was to have something on our own together, not in his marital home, something that was going to be ours all together. But I said to him, well, you know, if I look at my history, I've been living in a bedroom for most of my life, other than my marital life. I'm quite happy having the main hub of being in your room. And I said, well, we're both here to save, so what's the point in spending a lot of money and being, you know, having somewhere on our own when we could, you know, we've got lovely people that we share with, and be able to save a bit of money. So yeah, and so that's where we are at. And when he met my sister, the funny thing was, when he met my sister, somebody said, oh, I hear you met Carolyn's new man. What did you think? And she said, well, you can definitely see they've got a connection. And I went, oh, what makes you say that then? She said, because you both don't stop laughing.
Oh, that's so nice, isn't it? Lovely.
Yeah, so I feel very blessed. I've never ever thought, you never ever think you're ever going to, because you like to think you'll call anybody your
That's
soulmate.
Right, we don't ever
but
think.
you will really know when it comes to an energy level, and like you feel like you've known them forever. And definitely I've had other lives with him. Even he thinks that. Definitely we've had another life.
That's amazing. So would you say that the main contributing factor was the fact that you did the healing? I mean, you know, you may not see it like that, but if you heal your childhood wounds and the past, in a way you leave a great clear energy space, don't you? That can then be filled with the things of your desire. So would you say that had
definitely
the major impact?
Definitely. So what I did is, on Mind Valley, they have got this course on uncoupling. And whether you're going, see, for me, it was, I knew I was going to be ending a relationship, or it was going to come to an end. And I wanted to make sure that I nurtured that relationship, that it ended in a beautiful way, which it did. So what it makes you do, no matter what place of your life you're at, whether you're with them, not with them, you're in betrayal, abuse, whatever it is, it gets you to look at your past. So I've had 3 relationships. Now, each relationship finished for different reasons, okay? But if I really look into it, it's all for the same reason. Wow. And that was commitment and security. Right now, where I'd done other work on myself, I did some hypnotism, and what came up was that my mum went to go back to work, and she asked my sister to, she'd take me one evening to go and meet a lady who was going to be my babysitter, childminder, whatever you want to call it. And I remember, I can feel it now, that feeling of dread, thinking, oh my God, my mum doesn't want me or love me anymore. And I think I've just carried that unconsciously. And I've never given myself security. In my relationships, I've never given myself security and commitment.
Issue. You feel like you've been abandoned.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
So, in actual fact,
and from your mum's point of view, that wasn't at all.
No, of course not. Definitely not.
It's amazing.
It's how you perceive things, isn't it?
And if we don't explore that, you could go on for the rest of your life believing that, and you could have actually thought that your mum abandoned you, because as children, I think we do have these unreasonable perceptions of what things are. Like when mum and dad argue, for example, I think a lot of children do feel, as I felt, it's my fault. It's exactly. If I wasn't here, they wouldn't be arguing. And that's so unreasonable. It's got nothing to do with you as a child, but yet we feel that. And so we carry those things into adulthood, and thankfully you've recognised that, and you've been able to work through it and dismiss it to enable you to...
Definitely. So if people feel that they're always attracting the wrong kind of person, they've got to look at themselves, you know? And when you start then doing that work of your inner child and accepting that, you know, I'm sorry that I'm not there, I haven't been there for you, and I haven't been there for my inner child, but now I am, and now I'll give you love and nurture you, and I've done a lot of work around my own self-love anyway, that you then, when you've done the work on yourself, you'll then start attracting those people. I mean, I even look at I never used to have much of a social life because I was always in hospitality and catering all my life. And I never had certainly didn't have, I had friends, of course I had friends, but I didn't see them very often. I never had a social life.
You were working.
Yeah. So whereas now people always say to me, oh my God, Carolyn, you've got the most amazing friends, amazing people. And that's because I truly believe I'm in a really good place in my life now. And you attract those good people and not those that have got, you know, we've all got our own issues and whatever. But I don't ever seem to attract. And I guess if you ever do feel that you have, it's just one of those things where she's lovely or he's lovely, but you just don't spend that much more time with people that you don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah, and
but definitely
naturally, doesn't it? You don't even make decisions about it. They're people that were within your periphery and come close, and there are people on your periphery and they kind of stay on the outside, and you're just observing the coming and going of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd like to ask you, Carolyn, I think it's such a lovely, heartwarming story, and it's one that gives one hope.
Oh,
and
he's out there for you.
When you say that you've done a lot of work on yourself, I don't want it to be obviously too personal, but does that involve meditation? Does it involve writing things down? Does it involve speaking to somebody, or all the above? What does working on yourself, for our viewers there who haven't and doesn't really know about the concept?
So for me, a lot of it was meditation. Inner work. So, you know, it's even like they say that if you've got when you think about people in life, and it makes the hairs go up in your arm, and you feel that anger, or you feel that anxiety, or whatever, that's when you can't have that in your body. You shouldn't have. So you need to do the work. So one of the things was that so whenever I thought of my ex-husband's wife, I felt that way, but I didn't know or could connect to her. I didn't even really know her anyway, for Christ's sake. And then my ex-husband had an affair with one of my best friends. So although it was never confirmed, I know that they did have a relationship.
Women feel it, don't they?
Yeah, for sure they did. So when she's in Australia, but whenever she used to try and contact me, I'd either be yes, no, or I wouldn't bother answering through Facebook. Yeah. So then that's when I felt that I needed to connect with her. Hi, how are you? So I wanted to do that work, because for me, in my heart, I had forgiven. Yeah. When and that's where you need to do the work, that you're in a place that you can truly forgive. It's like any emotion that you've got in there. I think of it like you know, when you need to let go of something, I think of it like of balloons, and I'm pulling out these balloons out of me, and then I get a pair of scissors, I cut cut the cord as such, and then puff, I let them go.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, sometimes you have to do that many times. You need to find your own way of getting that anger, anxiety, whatever it is.
Because it can be layers, like you're saying, balloons. You know, sometimes you can maybe let 5 balloons go today, and then there's another 5,
Yes.
and then you need to let those 5 go, and then there's another 5.
Yes, you need to keep going until you feel at peace with it.
Yeah.
So obviously I didn't have a number or a contact for my ex-husband's wife, so I just did meditation and sending that love and that energy that, you know, that I was at peace, and I wished them all the love and happiness and everything else, because my issue with her was my issue, not hers.
So can I just check this out with you as well? So the feeling that you have when you think about her is that there's no tugging, there's no bad feeling at all, there's nothing. No. You can think of her, bring her to mind, and you're completely relaxed.
Same with my ex-husband. I still feel a lot of love for him.
Oh, that's lovely.
But only in, you know, for him as a person and moving on. I hope he's in a good place in his own life, because he had his own issues as to why he would have affairs, a lot of affairs, and so, and then I know that she was with him for a very long time before we actually broke up.
So she would also
so it's all of that, really. Anyway, do you know the way I see it now? I always think that when you go through any pain in your life, you have to embrace it and be grateful for it and understand what the learning is, and that's not an easy thing when you're going through and you've got all this stuff going on.
Because you're saying being grateful, and when you're hurting,
how can you be grateful?
That's the last thing.
But I really analyse, like, what is the learning. Now for me, a big part of what's come into my life are my angels. I always knew that my mum was with me, okay, but I've learned and seen a lot more about our guardian angels, that we have angels. And do you know, I just talked to them and asked them, and I asked them for help, you know, and I was always asking in reference to finding and manifesting the man of my dreams, you know. And so, you know, I think, you know, whenever we're going through a bad time, there's nothing, it doesn't matter who you're talking to, it could be a garden gnome, whatever, but you just need to put it out there of what is the learning, what, you know, why am I feeling that way? But I now know, and I'm now grateful, although it was a lot, it wasn't like just a month or a year, it was years of pain I went through, okay, but I would not be where I am now. We both realised if we had not gone through that pain all those years ago, both of us, we would not have met, and we wouldn't be where we are now. And so that's what I am. Now that I'm the other end, I can be so grateful for it.
And I do think that's the point. You know, I was thinking about how much suffering is a big part of Christianity. And I was thinking, but if we don't suffer, we don't know the other side of that. So we do need to suffer, and we do need to know what that's about to appreciate that when you're not suffering, the great joys that you can have that's on the other side. So I don't think suffering has to be a lifelong thing, but you need to have experienced it and understand it to get on the other side of it.
But I really believe that we make that choice before we come onto this dimension, that we want to experience certain things, no matter how traumatic they are. For some reason, we have chosen, as a human being, as a spirit, whatever, a soul, to experience that.
Shall I tell you what my thoughts about what my thoughts are about that?
Do tell me.
I actually think that before we come here, that we're in a place where we're pure and perfect and powerful. And I think when we're there, we're kind of moseying along, you know, maybe flying through the air and looking at beautiful things and having a good time. And then there's an impulse to go and do something. And so we see this fun fair called Earth, and we think, oh, I'd like to go to that fun fair. And we go to sign up for it, and our guide says to us, well, actually, no, it's not all completely a fun fair. There are going to be hard times. And you're just looking at the fun fair and the lights and the things that go around that are different from where you are. And being pure and powerful and positive, you've got no idea what those hard things could be. And you say, no, yeah, that's fine. I really want to go. And they say, no, you're going to have emotions that are going to make you feel bad. You've got no concept of what feel bad is. And you think, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to feel bad. Can you just sign me up, please? I need to go there. And it's like wanting to have that adventure and that holiday. And in that state of pure positive feeling, You've got no idea what that is, and you know that you're going to come back to being that after your ride. So you sign up for it really quickly and eagerly. And then, of course, you come here and then you feel what that's like, which is completely alien to your loving, pure, positive being. And then you think, why did I make that choice? So that's
a lovely way of looking at it. But also, I also believe that through past lives, if there's any wrongdoing that we have done, okay, we then feel guilty about it as we move on, that we want to experience that in a way of feeling repentant about it. So I understood that I was a soldier once in the war, and that I used to have loads of affairs. And and so that kind of makes sense now. Because now I've been on the receiving end. Certainly in this lifetime I've been on the receiving end. But anyway,
I haven't used the word karma before, but they would call that karma. I'm not quite sure exactly. I believe in karma, but I don't see it just as karma. You know, what you do unto others, they will do unto you. I don't just see it like that. I see it as this kind of divine justice. There is a divine justice in play. And whether or not you will get back something that you've given out in this lifetime, another lifetime, in 10 lifetimes, you are going to experience everything. So you choose what you experience, and if you haven't made the best of it and you've caused hurt and pain for others, that will come back to you. It just weighs itself out, you know, literally on scales. So that's just my take on it.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my motto.
Okay. Well, is there anything that you think that you would like to tell our, I'm sure there are going to be boys listening to this as well as girls, boys and girls.
I think it's relevant to everybody.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah. Maybe one or two specific things that they could do. Maybe, you know, one or two steps to start to move in that direction if they haven't thought about it before.
What about manifesting?
Yes, your dream partner.
Your dream partner. Well, I think it all depends. Obviously, you're single. I think, you need to get yourself out there. You know, the universe needs to know that you're available and your intentions. And I know it sounds nutty, but, you know, I do talk to my angels and I ask. It took a long time for me to. It doesn't happen overnight.
I don't actually think it is nutty. If you're praying, you're talking to a being that doesn't exist, aren't you?
No, but
so if you're talking to angels, isn't that the same thing?
So
it's how we perceive it. You know, if you're talking to an entity that is actually not in physical, in a physical body, in physical manifestation. The words and labels that we use are neither here nor there.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
But I guess the first thing you actually need to do is see if there's any work you need to do on yourself. So uncoupling with Mind Valley, I highly, highly recommend. Then once you feel that you've done the work on yourself, because especially if you feel you've got a bit of a pattern going on in your life, then get yourself out there. And then, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about trusting. If it isn't for you, then find other ways of social circles or friends. But it's even talking to people. And they also say, if you try and put people together, so if you've got a friend that's single and you then know another person at work that's single, trying to put them together actually puts you in a better position of also being match made. They say that, you know, the more that you do for others, that it will come back to you.
Yeah, sure.
So and then, you know, be sure in your mind, trust. If you truly in your heart trust that you can get this, and know, I mean, I wondered to myself, how was I so confident that I was going to find it? Because I swear to you, deep in me, I yearned for this oneness, this oneness of having that type of relationship where you're totally in sync, and that one love, you know. And so
you feel like you're two parts of one whole.
But when I then got it, I couldn't believe how confident I was that I was going to get it, and I can't believe that I've got it, if you know what I mean. I feel so grateful and so blessed. Totally. So yes, deep in your heart, know it's going to happen. Be patient, trust, and just write that person down. Sometimes when you are on your own, it can be lonely. It can feel a little bit frustrating. But, you know, when you feel that way, then start reaching out to people, either mediums through
psychics.
Psychics. palm reading, but I did energy healing, which was more about, well, you can make it for whatever purpose you want, whether it be what is my purpose, or it could be, you know, should I take that job, or where am I in my life, or just tell me whatever, or am I going to find my life partner soon? Because sometimes we need those signs and that support, and I needed a lot of that.
Yeah.
So it kept on giving me encouragement and realizing that I still need to do a bit more work on this, or I still need to do a bit more work on that, and just being in that whole people that understand you and understand that, like our meditation group. And you know, the more you ask, like, what do I do, where I swear it comes to you, either somebody, you lady, I swear to you, I said to my the girl, you know, but you know, Usher, that was in the office when you came round for coffee.
Yeah.
Right, I said to her, I think I'm supposed to be meeting Vina for a reason today, because I haven't seen her for ages. We keep on wanting to connect for a coffee. I said, but
it's been a couple of years.
Yeah, longer. And I said, I feel she's coming for a reason. And it was. I'm sure it was it was Kelly. I'm sure it was Kelly read the healing.
Oh, okay.
With the animals. I'm sure of it.
Ah, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But you know, this is where you ask and it will happen. It will, honestly, it really, really is.
Yeah.
Just
that's
believe
super.
and trust the process.
Yeah, that's super. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming and sharing that, because I think that there are going to be a lot of people that are really very interested in how to do that. I'm sure there are many lonely souls out there wondering why things are not coming about, and
because they're not ready. Things, if you're not ready, and if you don't really believe, you'll end up pushing it away. And sometimes, you know, we think about it too much. So you know, what wants to come in can't come in because you're not allowing it, or you've got negative thoughts. It's all about our thoughts, isn't it? Can sometimes push things away. So I think you need to clear your head, your meditation, be clear on your path, what you're wanting. And when you start doing that and start doing the healing and everything else and feeling in a better place in your life and, you know, and everything, then it's true, all those bits of puzzle, they just fall into place.
Yeah. And you know, what I love about this lady, as I do about my friends, is that honesty that just comes out. You know, there's no filtering of what should I tell them, what should I not tell them. Just that beautiful honesty that's just shared from the heart. I always relish in that, because I feel like I'm getting some of that energy, and it's always really lovely.
Oh,
so thank you for sharing your heart.
Same
and thank you
you.
for sharing
Not
yourself. And any last words before we say goodbye?
Well, if any of you do, well, want a bit of support, but do find a life partner, or have got also an inspiring story, we'd love to hear from you.
We would indeed, yeah. And if, I know you're a very busy lady, if somebody wanted to contact you to ask you questions, might they be able to do that?
Yeah, no problem at all. Through you, or you want me to my Instagram, or
they can maybe leave a comment in
that's better.
below.
Yeah.
And I could maybe
connect.
Put your email down if that's something
no
to do.
Email or my or my WhatsApp's usually better for me.
Okay. Do you want to say what your Instagram is?
So my Instagram is Carolyn, Carolyn 3040. So if you message me on that, I don't have everyone have access to me, but you can at least message, can't you? So,
yes, of course.
I look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Carolyn.
Okay,
and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.